Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this exciting session for creating seamless digital experiences with BMC Helix iPaaS. Today, I am here joined with Gareth and Nathan Bachnick. My name is Pradeep Kumar. We're going to take you through some of this exciting integration technology we have built together with Jitterbit. So I'm really excited to talk to you about it. I do want to make sure that you have time for asking questions during the session. So as we're going through the slides and a hands-on demo during the session, feel free to use the chat function, and my colleagues will be constantly answering your questions and going through it. So let's just jump into it. The agenda for today, we're going to look into, as businesses, as digital businesses, how do we make our enterprises, our ID infrastructure, how do we succeed in the digital world, and how Helix iPaaS can help. From there on, I'm going to hand it over to Nathan Bachnick from Jitterbit, who's going to talk about this exciting partnership between BMC and Jitterbit, how we're delivering value to our customers together. From there on, Gareth is going to come on. He's going to show us and build a live use case here, right? Within 20 minutes section, he's going to build a cool integration using the technology. He's going to talk about a customer success story, and then I'm going to just come back for a quick summary. So looking at the state of our enterprise today, there are a lot of technological changes that are happening, right? We know SaaS or cloud adoption is a major driver over the years. Data in our enterprise is multiplying. There is trillions and trillions of data that's being captured through so many systems, and it's literally a data economy. And the more the data that we can capture and use for our business, the better decisions we can make, right? So, and then we have a set of systems that are coming together that through different technology waves that we, as an IT provider of service, have to put them together for our customers and stakeholders to experience, right? And the automation is the key in terms of the set of tools, technologies. How do we make these processes seamless? So that's the sort of a state at a high level statement on our state of enterprise. But if we look at how do we succeed as a digital business, how do we succeed in a world? What are some of our challenges, and what are sort of the traits of success for us? So one of the core challenges, how do I quickly capitalize on opportunities that bring change in my industry, right? So agility is one of the capability, that trait that we need to develop in our enterprise. The customer centricity is another one that we need to look into, and align our business, focus our business, and make sure who are the key customers, how do we best serve their interests. And with all of those together, how do we get actionable insights so that we can take our business and orient ourselves to be able to help serve our customers better. So to be able to do that, to be a digital business, a successful digital, nimble, customer-centric business, we have a set of complex enterprise infrastructure, right? Over the generations of technology waves, we have gotten into our enterprise set of systems and tools and technologies, and that we have to put it together ourselves. If you think about pre-internet, right, client server systems, internet systems, SaaS adoption, cloud adoption, a lot of these technologies exist and have a place in our enterprise, and we do need to sort of put them together to deliver that seamless experience to our customers. Our customers and stakeholders, they are not necessarily exposed to this complexity. All they want is a smooth consumer-like experience, consumer-like digital experience in our enterprise. So as we think about this, in putting together these systems, classically, we have been taking an approach where we were putting the systems together in a point-to-point integration method, right? I mean, so we had different systems running, then they have their own integration technology. So we have some back-end integrations. We're doing some data integration using some flat file-based tools or database-based tools, or so many email-based integrations, and then we try to make it work. That is a classic point-to-point integration challenge, which results in too many integration touch points, not communicating with the systems in a standard fashion. Those integrations break as some of these applications are upgraded, and then all of that premise or the context change with the adoption of SaaS and cloud infrastructure, because kind of the kind of access that we used to have with our on-prem systems, the cloud systems does not necessarily let us have it that way. They want us to talk to these systems in a very standard fashion. So with all those challenges, obviously, there's always a better way, and integration platform as a service is one of the latest sort of approaches for the SaaS world, where these platforms are designed for application integrations, for data integrations. They have a complete end-to-end platform who talks to these systems through standard interfaces. You have connectors that know how to talk to that application. For example, for Salesforce, you have a dedicated connector that understands the objects that exist in that platform. You have dedicated actions or activities on those connectors for create, update, insert, delete, or anything that you may want to do. So this new approach, integration platform as a service approach, provides a holistic platform for us to build quick and easy integrations without getting into a lot of these complexities that used to exist in the classic approach. These integration are fully maintainable. They do not break upon system upgrades, because the platform is designed to talk to these applications through standard interfaces. So that's what we want to really get a little more deeper into and talk about BMC Helix iPaaS. So what is BMC Helix iPaaS? As you know, I'm sure you're super familiar with BMC Helix as an ITSM, ITOM offering. Helix iPaaS is an OEM offering from BMC, where we have partnered up with Jitterbit, one of our key partner here, who has a Gartner MQ Leader integration platform as a service. And this super rich platform, BMC is enriching through its own investment. That means we're building a lot of connectors and pre-built integrations on the platform. And we want to make sure that we have enough of pre-built integration content, pre-built use cases. So we were working with our customers and have released a lot of out-of-the-box content for you to get a solution from BMC. And literally, if you can think of any of the enterprise-wide integration that you may want to do with Helix, you may have a solution already from us. But it is not just that. We are continuing to invest in Helix iPaaS in building differentiated integration use cases. We also have our partner Jitterbit investing in Helix-oriented integrations. So Nathan, my partner here, is going to talk about Helix Marketplace in Jitterbit. You can see the set of sort of out-of-the-box integrations available there. But think of Helix iPaaS as the go-forward integration solution with a rich set of options available to you today. Going a little more deeper into Helix iPaaS, again, as it's a standard-based Gartner MQ leader iPaaS solution. Jitterbit, you can see the positioning. It's one of the top 4 vendors out there. It's robust technology, thousands of enterprise-grade customers running integrations on it. Obviously, being an iPaaS and API management platform, it makes life simple and easy for you to build your integrations. All the benefits that you see from any iPaaS platform, obviously they are there. You have a design time, runtime, console. You can monitor your transactions. You have complete visibility into what are all the integrations that you have. What do you want to put into use? Do you want to trigger it? Do you want to run them on schedule? Do you want to pause them? Do you want to get into or view what are the sort of transactions passing through? And then if you have need for notifications for success transactions, failure transactions, a holistic integration management platform, integration platform as a service available to you as BMC Helix iPaaS. Again, rich set of connector options available from Jitterbit and from BMC, right? So you basically have multiple vendors trying to offer you a solution at a rapid pace. As you know, in the integration space and in the application space, there are just newer and newer use cases cropping up every day, and there are newer and newer services and technologies and applications coming. And you want a partner, you want a solution that has enough investment behind it, covering the entire gamut of enterprise integration needs. So, for example, if you have to build integrations between your ITSM and your HR systems, or your enterprise project portfolio management systems, or your GRC systems, all of those applications, connectors for all of those applications are available to you today. I also want to highlight here, if you see Jitterbit's position in B2B integration category for Gartner, they're one of the leaders, just a super top line enterprise grade player to partner with. I couldn't be more happy to partner with Jitterbit, and you will see you will see the customers that are using it today have tremendous feedback for it to be a enterprise-wide top-class integration platform. Let's moving forward, just a quick glimpses of the set of connectors and that are available today. Obviously, this is a sample of the ones that we have. We're adding, BMC is adding to this. So BMC is not only building connectors for BMC applications, we're also building connectors for third-party applications so that we can make sure that your integration needs are fully matched through BMC's investment. In addition to the dedicated connectors for different applications, which makes it life easy to talk to that specific application, there are generic technology-based connectors that are available to you. For example, HTTP connector, REST connector, SOAP connector, FTP connector, file, a lot of these technology-based connectors. So these connectors and this sort of capability allows you to build integration with any application today on day one. You do not have to wait on us, BMC or Jitterbit, to be able to build an integration with any application. What you can do is, as long as your applications have these REST interfaces or other modern interfaces, you can use the generic connector approach and build the integration today. So a rich set of integrations, rich set of connectors available today and growing at a rapid pace through BMC's investment as well as Jitterbit's investment. A few more examples here about kind of out-of-the-box integration solutions and templates that we have shipped. We have shipped quite a lot during the last 12 months. You can go through BMC documentation site to see all of these use cases. Again, this is more about pre-built solutions from BMC. So we have taken integrations for ITSM to Jira, Salesforce, Workday, Coupa, Slack, Microsoft Teams, Splunk, Outlook, and many more. But each one of these use case example here is available as a template, as a JSON file that you import in your environment. You configure the template by providing your credentials for these systems, and you're ready to go. So that's our approach. We want to make it that simple. If it is a common enough integration use case that many of our customers have in their enterprise, we in BMC want to build it and ship it and provide to you out of the box. And by the way, when you want to consume it, it's a no-code integration available to you out of the box. You configure the template. So the steps are, you import it in your environment, you configure the template, and you say deploy, and you're ready to go. And we're going to see an example of that today. Gareth, when he goes through his section, he's going to try to build a template out from scratch and configure it and put it to use. So I'm super excited for that section as well. With that, I am now going to hand it over to my partner, Nathan Bachnick from Jitterbit, who is going to talk to us a little bit about Jitterbit, the technology, and Jitterbit Marketplace.
Thank you, Pradeep. Appreciate it. Hello, everyone. My name is Nathan Bachnick. As Pradeep mentioned, I'm from Jitterbit. I work very closely with Pradeep and the rest of the BMC team. And as Pradeep mentioned, we are partners in this, right? And I don't think you could use a better word than partners. We work very closely with the BMC team to deliver the best-in-class platform to all of BMC's customers. Pradeep spent a fair bit of time talking about product, right? So obviously to deliver something of this nature, there has to be product alignment. There has to be product effort. So we collaborate, to be honest, daily on product features, functionality, vision of where the platform is, where it needs to go to deliver, future state functionality for BMC customers. But we go beyond that, right? So we talk about pre-sales, we talk about service, but in the pre-sales space, right, we're working hand in hand with the BMC field. So some of you may have already experienced that. Integration is a key component to delivering solutions, to your customers ultimately. So we have technical support that is out there for the BMC field team during the evaluation, right? We want to make sure that that's a first-class evaluation, that everything that you need to understand about the integration platform, how does it handle data, how does it move data, how do you make connections, make sure all those answers, all those questions get answered for you, and really improve your Helix experience and your deployment of the Helix platform. We also coordinate on the service side. So just as important as the product is, and we do have those pre-built use cases that are already available, but there are use cases that may not be pre-built, and there's a post-sales opportunity for implementation. And whether that's through BMC or whether that's through the BMC partner community, we are engaged there as well to support both of those arms to ensure that your post-implementation experience is as optimal and successful as possible. Pradeep mentioned that we do have pre-built templates. So these templates are produced both by Jitterbit and BMC. So these are common use cases that we see, and we are building upon these every day. There's always some in development, in production. We take feedback from the field to understand what people are trying to accomplish, what use cases they need to solve for. And then once they're complete, QA'd, they're put into our marketplace. And this marketplace is available within the Jitterbit platform or Helix iPaaS platform. As a user, you can browse these, see which ones might be applicable to your deployment. It covers BMC-centric integrations. It also covers, since we are an integration platform as a service, non-BMC integration opportunities. So you could conceivably use these for non-BMC related integrations and standardize some of your integration offering. So with that, I'm going to actually allow you guys to see the product in action. As Pradeep mentioned, Gareth Christiani is going to take us through a demo of a use case, and I believe he's actually going to use one of our templates to show you that.
Thank you very much, Nathan. So yes, what we're going to be doing is looking at one of the integration templates that we have that allows us to publish a BMC Helix ITSM incident into a Microsoft Teams channel. This is a very powerful use case where you could look at it from a support perspective, where those sets of info are being transferred into a support channel. So we're going to have a look at building that out from scratch, and we'll have a look at that inside the demo environment. Great. So what I've done is I've logged into our BMC Helix iPaaS solution, and we're on the landing page over here. And just to give you a bit of context of what we're seeing on the screen over here, first off, I have the Cloud Studio, which allows me to design the various different workflows that you have to integrate your applications. The API Manager allows me to very easily create and publish and manage the various different APIs that you have running. The Marketplace, as Nathan said, is a list or a library of pre-built integration assets that you can repurpose in your various different integration projects. And last but not least, the Management Console, which allows us to manage and monitor the various different integrations that you have running. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off by going into Cloud Studio and repurposing an integration template that facilitates the Helix ITSM webhook creation. So I'm going to go into Cloud Studio, and then we'll import that particular project. Import, browse for my JSON file. So there's my ITSM webhook JSON. Go ahead and open that up. Give it a project name and specify my environment. I'll go ahead and import that. Great. So what we have over here is the foundation to our integration that we're going to build out into Microsoft Teams. But before I move into building out those next steps, I just want to give you a quick rundown on what we're seeing on the screen here. So first off, I have my enable integration workflow where I have the logon to our ITSM environment, followed by the actual creation of that particular webhook with these two different operations over here. In the workflows tab, I have a very easy window that I'm able to drive between the various different project elements. If you've got a rather complex integration, this makes it really easy to focus in on particular components of your integration. Of that import, in our components tab, we drew in a whole range of different sets of configurations with various different operations, scripts, and project variables and global variables. Now, this makes it really easy for engineers to have that building block for their integration. So instead of having to redevelop and repurpose or reconfigure a lot of those aspects, we are simply just dragging those different items back into our different operations. So it makes it really easy for engineers to go through these integration builds without having to redevelop and reconfigure things over and over again. On the right-hand side, I've got a range of different connectors that get bundled with the solution. So as you can see, I've got everything from App Dynamics, Azure, I've got all my different BMC Helix connectors, Cooper, Dynatrace, etc. And beyond that, they're the out-the-box connectors for if a connector doesn't exist, you can still repurpose all the generic types of connector options. So whether it's your HTTP REST functions, database calls, you really do have quite an extensive library that will facilitate pretty much any integration you could ever imagine. So our first step over here now is to extend our enable integration workflow into that next phase or the next workflow for the Microsoft Teams connection. So before I do that, I need to quickly create an additional variable. Let's give it a name over here, master script. Save that. Next, we actually need to configure our Microsoft Teams connector. So I'll quickly search for that connector. It's my Microsoft Teams connector. Now, this is the first stage where we're repurposing some of that initial import. So remember, I mentioned that we took in certain variables and scripts and such. So instead of engineers having to go back through and configure each of these elements, because we already have all that info, I'm simply going back into our project variables and specifying the different elements as on the screen over here. So I've got my Microsoft tenant ID, client ID, secret and such. username, password. So this just makes it a lot easier to get things up and going. People aren't having to ferret out different configuration sets. It's all there for them. So we've got a successful connection. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. So now what we need to do is create a new workflow. Go ahead and label that for us. Great. So our first step is we're going to use our API function here. We're going to drag across onto the canvas, into that operation, the request. Let's just make sure that we're going through and labeling these pieces as we go along. Integration API. Next, I want to use my master script, write variable. So just dragging that back onto the canvas. Now, as I said, we have all this content that we drew in as part of that import. Our next piece is we're going to repurpose one of the scripts, our passing webhook payload script. Simply drag it onto the canvas. Let's have a quick look inside that script. So basically, the script is just creating a range of different variables, which then we utilize to draw out the information out of the ITSM ticket that we're going to create later on in the demo. So you can see I've got my Teams message variable, the particular string that I want to have created in that Microsoft Teams channel, as well as some of the variables to drag out the necessary detail out of that ticket that we're going to create. You'll note that I have a operation that's currently commented out. We're going to come back in here and uncomment that shortly when we start linking up. So I'll go ahead and close that. Next, we need to, so we've configured our Microsoft Teams connection, and I need to say where does that message actually end up? Which channel do I want that ticket to be sent to, or that integration to take that message into? So again, just dragging on that send to Teams message. Go ahead and label this. Great. Next, we need to create a bit of a transform over here. So create that new transformation. Now, this would be if you wanted to have different schemas and adjust the different mappings of those inputs coming from both systems. For the moment, we're not going to do anything here just yet. Turn to my workflow. Let's go into our send Teams message piece and now point it at the relevant team. So I'll look for that particular team there, Tiger team, click next. So based on that connection that we specified, it's now going back in and drawing out those details. So there's my BMC Exchange channel. Go ahead and click next. And there we go. So we've got our data request structure as well as the response structure. I'll go ahead and click finished. So we're only interested in one particular component. So first off, let me quickly link these two operations. I'll go back in here, uncomment that there. That's linking to that second operation, the post Teams channel. And you'll note now that those two operations have been linked. So there we go. Our integration API flow controller is now linked to our post Teams channel. Next, we need to go back into that transform. I'm only interested in this particular message string. So I'm going to go ahead and add a script. Now, on the right-hand side, I've got a range of different functions, plugins, operations, and such. So, I mean, if a developer now wanted to go through and add aspects to the script, he doesn't have to go through and code each and every element. He's simply just repurposing a lot of these different functions, making it really easy and efficient to build out these scripts. But as I said, we're only interested in one of the global variables. I'm going to take my Teams message variable and drag that between the tags over here. The script is still valid, so all good to go. Great. So as I mentioned, when we did the initial import, we drew in a range of different sets of info. I just want to quickly show you what those project variables look like. Now, we're interested in adjusting this particular iPaaS API URL. What we're going to do now is go back into our API manager and create a new API from scratch. and then amend one or two of the values here for our ITSM endpoint and the password details, etc. So let me quickly, before we go, we just want to make sure that this project is deployed so that when we create our API function, we can actually reference this particular project. Fantastic, so I've got a successful deployment. Next, we're going to go into our API manager and create that API from scratch. Great, so new API. Select my environment, version, change, go ahead and click next. So this is now where we're linking it to that project that we were busy with in Cloud Studio. So there's my BMC Exchange project. The operation that I'm busy or interested in working with is the integration API flow controller. The method is post and response type is final target. So now I'm going to go ahead and assign that operation. There's just a quick summary of what we've configured. Go ahead and click next. Now you have the ability to assign different security profiles and such, but for the purpose of the demo, we're not going to go through this right now. Go ahead and click next. And this is just a summary and confirmation of the API. And go ahead and save and publish that. Great. So our API is now live. That took me all of a minute to get that up and going. I can go ahead and copy that API URL. I'm going to go back into Cloud Studio and update those project variables. Let's go into our project. Okay, project variables. So there's my new API. See, copy across other details here for the new environment. That in. Password. And lastly, the username. So we go ahead and close that. And we now need to deploy those changes. So it should come back to me and say that the following different variable values have been adjusted. So there's my iPaaS API URL that's been adjusted, the endpoint, password, as well as the username. So I can go ahead and say deploy. Fantastic. So our next step, just to ensure that everything's running as expected, we're going to run through this enable integration piece and just make sure that we get a success result. Fantastic. So success and success there. So we're pretty much all ready to go. So that there, within a few minutes, I've built out an integration between our Helix ITSM and our Microsoft Teams environment. So now we're going to go into our Smart IT and create that incident, and we'll have a look at that result going back into our Microsoft Teams channel. So I've logged into our Smart IT. I'm going to go through and create that ticket quickly. So description. Now, part of what we dealt with for the integrations, we set certain triggers for that integration to take place. We've set it that the impact needs to be set to extensive and widespread, and the urgency to critical, but you could have that being triggered against anything, whether it be different CTI configurations, maybe there's a particular service or CI. So the options are there to configure it to meet that particular use case. I'm going to go ahead and save that ticket. Great. So let me quickly go into our Microsoft Teams environment. Great. So there's my Tiger team channel or team, and then the BMC exchange. And if we scroll up over here, there's our ticket there. So ITSM incident following details. There's my ticket number, as well as the description for the ticket that we've just created. So within a few minutes, we were able to build out a very nice integration between the two different platforms. This has been requested numerous times by various different customers. So with the power of Helix iPaaS, we're able to build out these integrations really easily, leveraging the platform. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to quickly talk about a fantastic success story that we had in our local South African market. Okay, so what I'm going to be talking about now is a fantastic win that we've had in the local market here in South Africa. BCX is one of the largest service providers in country over here and services hundreds of different clients. And we had a fantastic opportunity to show them the power of BMC Helix iPaaS and how it would simplify their current situation. So just giving you a bit of context to that there, the BCX had a legacy approach to integrations. It was incredibly complex. And this particular provider that gave them the service didn't necessarily give them a visibility of what that integration entailed. It was very complex and took a lot of time to do any work or integrations that they required. So it was very difficult for them to address their different customers when they had different types of integration wants and needs. That as well was not also everything was being built out from the ground up. There was no kind of templates or any connectors that were available. Every integration was built from the ground up. So it was a lot of time and effort that went into it. So when we came through and spoke to them about what BMC Helix iPaaS could bring to the table, they were very impressed by the extensive library of connectors that we are able to provide them, and the continued investments and partnering between both Jitterbit and BMC, ensuring that we bring new capabilities, provide those templates, allowing for a really rapid integration platform that services a whole host of different business requirements. So as a positive outcome of that, there was a massive reduction in their cost of building out these integrations. They were able to address the market a lot more efficiently and weren't necessarily always hampered by having to build out these integrations from scratch. So it was a really good story for us, and we continue to extend and build out new integration capabilities for BCX. So yes, that was a fantastic win for us. I'm going to hand now back over to Pradeep. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gareth, for a wonderful demonstration showing the power of the platform, how quickly and easily you can build such complex enterprise integration use cases. On top of that, sharing, I was super impressed with this customer success story in South Africa. It's not a simple use case. It's a top end of the enterprise, someone who's dealing with very complex integration use cases, and they're rolling it off one customer by one customer at a very rapid pace. So super good, wonderful story, great application of the platform. With that, I'm going to take you to a quick summary of what we covered today. And some of the things I'm super excited about this integration platform as a service, BMC Helix iPaaS. Again, it's a Gartner MQ leader technology for iPaaS as well as API management platform. It's robust and it's enterprise grade with thousands of customers running it in production today. So it's a super good offering, super cool top end of the enterprise offering. And the service is great, comes with a rich set of connector options today and growing. But on top of that, you have generic technology-based connectors for any quick integrations. Anything that you want to build today, you can build today with the platform. It's a holistic integration management solution. So that means from design to deploy to manage complete end-to-end solution for you. You saw some of that examples that Gareth showed you and also walked you through the platform. So yeah, with BMC's investment in the platform, you have a rich set of exclusive connectors from BMC applicable for our domain. And in addition to us, Jitterbit is also investing in the platform, and all the partners from Jitterbit are investing in the platform. So you get a holistic platform with super rich set of options available to you at a rapid pace. So with that, I'd like to thank you all for attending today's session. I was super glad to see the platform in action and see how easily it is for you to build an enterprise-grade integration use case in a matter of minutes. And this is really the power of this MQ Leader iPaaS platform. And I'd like you to check out bmc.com for more information on Helix iPaaS. Go through our documentation for all the pre-built set of integrations that are available today. Thank you very much.